So now that I've allowed myself a couple of days to gather my thoughts about the news of a new Bioshock, I wanted to formulate an opinion video. Now, obviously, for me, there's a lot of positives here. Obviously, we get a new Bioshock. It's the excitement of not knowing what it's going to be about, which is awesome. And the fact that we can potentially get a continuation of a story from a previous Bioshock. Maybe a true sequel to Bioshock 1, a better sequel to Bioshock 2, maybe something with Infinite, although I highly doubt that due to Burial at Sea's endings. But I digress. I want to talk about kind of the fears that I have about going into this next game and a couple of things that bother me about 2K's press conference, if that makes sense, or more or less their blog post. So, another fellow YouTuber by the name of Mr. Matty Plays released a video on some of the topics I will be touching on in this video. If you guys have not checked him out, I will leave his video down in the description if you guys would like to do so. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts, your opinions, your comments, concerns, etc. down in the comment section below, and let's hop into this video. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be discussing about 3 fears that I have in terms of the new Bioshock. The first one we're going to be discussing is the fact that 2K hasn't been the most transparent, especially during that blog post. So, they said that when Cloud Chamber got announced, that development would be there on a new game for the next several years. However, if you remember back in 2018, when Jason Schreier actually published an article, and keep in mind, he's a very reputable source within gaming journalism, that a new Bioshock game was already in development. Yeah, about that. The game's been in development since 2018, and it's almost going on 2 years now. So, realistically, I can see the game coming out potentially next year or 2021, around that time period. Now, again, I don't have a problem with the game already being in development. That's completely okay. The thing that I do have a problem with was in that blog post, and I believe a couple of either tweets or I can't remember exactly what it was from his video, but it stated the fact that they were listening to the community for what the community and the fans of the series want for the next game. If this game had been in development since 2018, like a lot of articles have actually been published, I would highly implore you guys to go check those out on your own. Give it a read, trust me, it's well worth it. But as I was saying, if you're saying that you're waiting for feedback from the community, the fan base, etc., why would you start development in 2018 and then announce the game almost a year and a half later? To me, it just doesn't make sense, and it seems like they've already kind of set the plans in motion, especially with the second thing that I want to talk about. So, the main fear here is 2K's transparency with us, with the other fans out there of Bioshock that don't know about this channel, or just people who are excited that maybe, just maybe for some reason, they played Bioshock 1 and 2 and they stopped playing after that. And they get word that a new Bioshock is coming, so they want to pick it up. I just want transparency. That's all I'm asking. And I don't think we're going to get that from 2K. We might get it from Cloud Chamber. That's kind of a stretch here, and I really hope we do. But transparency is key to actually building a good community. And I think 2K needs to do a better job of what their intentions are and what their plans are moving forward with this particular game and the Bioshock franchise moving forward within the future. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with that down in the comment section below. Now, the second fear is something that I'm kind of 50-50 on. I'm really on the fence about this because I do have a couple of ideas that could potentially work. However, at the same time, There's a lot of conflicting things that are running through my mind. So, there were actually two different job listings. One was on the official 2K website, and the other, Kelly Gilmore actually tweeted out in 2018. As you guys remember, the job listing on 2K was for an endgame strategist, and the tweet that she sent out was that 2K was looking for a senior multiplayer designer, and like I said, that was back in 2018. Now, you guys know my stance on Bioshock 2 multiplayer. I loved it, I thought it was a lot of fun, and I thought it was just a nice, I want to say addition, or just a novelty. Let's just go with that. It's a nice novelty to have with the narrative story of Bioshock 2. It was something nice that you could get on with a couple of buddies, mess around on, and even now, it's still a shit ton of fun. But I don't want the next Bioshock to take priority within the multiplayer genre. As you guys know, like I said, for me, I play Bioshock for the stories. I play Bioshock to get invested into the characters, to get invested into the atmosphere, the setting, the ambiance, everything about it. And I don't want multiplayer to take front and center for Bioshock. That's where the biggest fear comes in. Sure, multiplayer would be an awesome feature for like me personally, because I would have additional content to post for you guys. However, at the same time, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Yeah, multiplayer would be nice if it was the novelty like it was in Bioshock 2. However, if you turn the sword around, what if multiplayer takes front and center? I don't know how well that's going to work, especially with you guys being hardcore fans, with myself being hardcore fans. As I mentioned, I just don't want multiplayer to take front and center. The only thing that I would really enjoy about a multiplayer taking front and center would be something like a co-op story mode. That way, if you want to take someone who's never experienced a Bioshock before through one, you can do that. You have the option to take another fan with you. For instance, I could do a live stream where I pick someone random from the chat and we can play together, we can talk, and I have more opportunities to communicate with my community. So for me, that would be awesome. Now, let's hop into the endgame strategy, or the strategist portion of this, shall we? Now let's talk about a term that you don't normally associate with the Bioshock franchise, and that is endgame. So, for me, I play a lot of Destiny 2 outside of the Bioshock franchise, and endgame content in there is trying to get the best pieces of armor and the best weapons you possibly can. So, obviously endgame is going to differ from person to person and from game to game. However, it's usually to achieve the same thing. The best possible character or the best possible items that you can possibly achieve at the end of the game. So, you put two and two together, how does that really make sense for the Bioshock franchise? This is something I've kind of been scratching my head about for a while since they actually announced that job listing. So, maybe I'm blowing that part out of proportion, and maybe the endgame strategist was for another game that they're working on. But what if they are going to be working on the new Bioshock? Obviously, with that, they want to keep players invested in the game, and they want to keep players on and playing that new Bioshock. So the only way I would possibly see this working is to have maybe DLC that continues the narrative of a certain story. For instance, and this is just a hypothetical, just an idea. Let's say, for some reason, they decide to go back to Rapture, okay? Obviously, we've had multiple settings of Rapture within the Bioshock franchise. What if we actually saw the Rapture Civil War take place? That would be a unique DLC option that I would be more than happy to actually play and experience. Can you imagine being able to walk around Rapture before it went to shit, to experience Rapture before it went to shit, and then all of a sudden you're involved with the Civil War, to me, that would really enhance that gaming experience for me. Knowing all of the background story, knowing all of the lore, knowing all of the lore videos that I've made, that would make me nerd out. I'm not going to lie. However, I don't necessarily know if that's the ideas and that's the path that they want to take. Again, I don't necessarily know what they want to do with quote-unquote endgame content in Bioshock. If you guys have any ideas, again, please use this video as kind of a community board or a community post. Put it down in the comments section below, and like I said, please keep it respectful. I'm just trying to express some things that are going on in my head. Don't hate me for expressing opinions, because if you respect my opinions, obviously I'm going to respect yours, and vice versa. I just want to get the kind of 3 or 4 thoughts that have been stuck in my head since I made that video. Now, my third and probably biggest fear is the fact that this Bioshock, and I already know it, is going to be so much different than the previous 3. Now, hear me out. So we've already talked about the potential of a big multiplayer presence, along with endgame content in Bioshock. So that already tells me that they have plans in motion, and especially with the particularly lack of transparency from 2K, especially saying that the game will take several years to develop, even though it's been in development since 2018 when those reports from Jason Schreier came out. But hey, I digress. And please don't take this as me shitting on 2K or anything like that. I'm just trying to politely ask them to be more transparent with the fan base, with the community, etc. I know they don't have to. It's just a nice gesture from me to them, if that makes sense. So, I don't know what this next Bioshock is going to entail. I don't know where they're going to want to have the setting be. I don't know what characters they want to implement. I don't know whether or not they're going to try to have a multiplayer first mentality, which I really hope they don't, because I would hate to see this game get ruined by microtransactions. That's something that would just absolutely break my heart. And I just don't want to see this game fail. This is something I've been waiting for 6 years now. Keep that in mind, 6 years. Because obviously with Infinite coming out in 2013, 6 years is a long time. And now we have to potentially wait 7 to 8 to finally get our hands on a new experience. My worst fear overall is that this next game could potentially taint the entirety of the Bioshock franchise. And I don't want that. I don't honestly think my heart could handle that. And I know I might be sounding over dramatic, but you guys know how much this franchise means to me. You know how much this franchise has done for me personally. And you guys know how much of a community that we've built here and how much you guys mean to me. I don't want to see this game fail. And that is the worst fear that I have. What is the future of Bioshock? I don't know. But I promise you guys I will keep you up to date with news and more information when it's released from 2K or we get articles related to the topics. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy the video and want to see more, would you kindly hit that like button, turn on notifications, and just subscribe to never miss a new video. Also, if you want to follow me on social medias, my Twitter and my Instagram are down in the description for you guys to go check out. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will talk to you all very soon.